Hi, this is Kevin Adler again, and I'm here with another one of the musicians for this year's Takoma Park Folk Festival. This is Cody Summit, who will be on the Crossroads Stage. Hey, Cody. And I want to remind folks the Folk Festival will be Sunday, September 11th, with stage performances starting at 10:30 and running till 6:30. So, Cody's a Baltimore-based guitarist and songwriter. And Cody, welcome. Thank you. This is your debut at the Folk Festival. We're delighted to have you.
I'm
Um,
delighted.
and thanks. And we were chatting a minute ago that you have released a CD recently, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about what that is. What's on it?
Yes, the album is called "Welcome to Greener Than." This is this is it. This is the art is done by a guy named Gary Dumb, who I actually met because I'm a big fan of Harvey Pekar, who's they made a movie about him, all stuff. So everything about this album is very much about personal connections. It's kind of a COVID album, so everything was done here,
Okay.
but did a lot of remote recording with people. And so there's a mixture of sort of more solo kind of folk stuff and then sort of extended instrumentation based on just who wanted to be involved in the relationships I established.
You know, a lot of artists I've talked to have said that COVID obviously had a huge impact on them, and sometimes they're writing about the disruption, the sadness. Sometimes they're writing about the triumph over that, and so on. Where are you coming down on all this COVID impact?
Yeah, there's a couple of mixture. There's a mixture of themes on it. A lot of it is very much about being a person like a home-based musician and father. A lot of it's very influenced by just by being a father and being with my family. It goes into a little bit of some philosophical kind of political stuff in the middle of it, that's pretty easy to pick up upon, just about what we've all been going through. But it's sort of like it's basically a lot of it's about just trying to make sense of everything that's going on.
Okay. Well, and you know, you talked about putting it together at a distance with other musicians. Um, but now, of course, you could play in person. You're going to be playing in person at the folk festival. So, what's what's that like? Yeah, what's it like to have you been able to play some of these songs with other people live?
Yeah, we've done a little bit. Well, actually, tonight I'm doing a performance at the Ivy Bookstore up here in Baltimore. It's a CD release sort of debut, and that's with a full band. That's with percussion, bass, keys, drums, and also a harmonica player. So I kind of shift the instrumentation based upon what what's appropriate for the specific performance. But the idea is that any of these songs can be performed with just me. That's kind of the idea. It's like it's folk at its base. It's not super dependent upon everything else. It's like that's where everything kind of springs from.
Okay. And at our folk festival, you're playing, and are any of these folks going to be with you, or is it just is it you solo
No,
at our event?
yeah, it's going to be, well, it'll be myself and the harmonica player who's on this album. His name is Danny Garrett. He's a young guy. We actually met. We met on the internet,
Mhm.
and just through I don't even know where. I think he asked me to play on something of his, and then he wound up being on two tracks on this album, and he's become good friend and just somebody. I think he's just a really special musician, and he's someone I can play off of too. When we perform.
Fantastic. You know, we've talked about your music, but without actually talking about what it sounds like. Maybe you could describe it a little, because I realize people may be wondering, like, oh, okay, what does it sound like?
Well, what I think it sounds like is someone who is who's definitely influenced by folk. I mean, somebody who that's where I'm starting from. Most of it is I don't think I use a pick for my guitar in the entire album. Like it's all like finger picking.
Wow.
Um, the three instruments that are used are resonator guitar, Weisenborn guitar, so a guitar that I'm playing on my lap, kind of dobro style, and just regular acoustic, and I don't think that there is like a standard tuned guitar on the entire album. So it's a lot of finger picking. It's sort of paying homage to these different kinds of roots music. I like we were talking before. Oh man, if I get into it, I'll never stop. So I just like Skip James, Dave Van Ronk, Mississippi John Hurt, Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, just the wide span of like the school of folk music and going into songwriters and stuff. It's all original music, but the way that I put it together is it's definitely indebted to traditional music.
Well, I listened to a number of your songs on YouTube, and they're lovely. I'd almost call it a gentle sound. That's my word.
Sure.
Maybe you don't feel that way. And in fact, actually, if you've got a guitar handy, maybe you could give us 30 seconds or a minute as we close out this interview, and folks can get a sense of what it would be like to see Cody on the Crossroads stage at the folk festival.
Sure.
So I'll be quiet here, and we'll hear some of Cody Summit. And again, we look forward to having everybody visit us on Sunday, September 11th.
All right, I'm going to do the first song on the album. This song is called "I Do," and this is basically the idea is saying goodbye to maybe these goals or these dreams that you have in your mind that at a certain point they just kind of weigh you down. So that's the idea behind this song. So.
Goodbye, you foolish dreams, all about seeking fortune and fame. Too bad you never came true. Farewell, delusions of grandeur, sure hard to keep when you're feeling poor. Tell me what more could I do? See, I don't wanna be frustrated for the rest of my days. No, I don't wanna be frustrated for the rest of my days. I don't wanna be frustrated for the rest of my days. What else could I do? What did I do?
So that's the first song in the album.
Boy, I do hear the Mississippi John Hurt there. So that's just beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. We look forward to seeing you on September 11th. Again, this is Cody Summit, a Baltimore-based guitarist and songwriter.
Appreciate it. Take care.